In this new report, I'm going to introduce another map which shows the average stock return and the total trading volume of stocks located in different parts of the country. So to do that, I'm going to first click on this map button, and for this map, I'm going to use this headquarters location, this variable under the daily data set. I'm going to drag this variable to define location. Okay, now if I expand the map, you can see most of the stocks or securities are located within the United States. Some are in the Europe area. Okay, and also you can define the bubble size. You can see there's bubbles here, and also the tooltips. Okay, tooltip means if you just hover over a particular bubble, it's going to show you the location, the exact location of this security. Okay, so for the bubble size, you can define. So I'm going to define the bubble size based on the trading volume. So I'm going to drag the volume to here to define the bubble size. And because for one location there might be several firms, and there's many different trading months in this data set, so I need to sum up all those securities over the entire sample period to find this total volume. So basically I can just use the default sum of the volume. Okay, well, you have many different choices. You can choose the average volume or the minimum or the maximum, but here I think the sum of the volume makes sense, so I'll just stick with the default sum of the volume, which define the bubble size. Now, if I zoom in, you can see, well, there's this relatively big bubble which is around New York City. So there's a lot of stocks headquartered there. So that's big. That makes the total trading volume much bigger in that area. Okay. There's some other big bubbles around Austin, Texas. All right, or Dallas. Okay, and somewhere in Florida. So now the bubble size defines the total trading volume. I can also make this tooltips defined by the average return. So I'm going to use the monthly return C here and drag it to the tooltips. And by the way, instead of the sum, I'm going to use the average, because the sum of a percentage return does not really make much sense. The average of the percentage returns is the more commonly used measure of the overall performance. So the tooltips is going to be the average daily return. So I want to make this map even better. So I want to not just use the bubble size to indicate the total trading volume in a particular location. I'm also going to use the color of the bubble to kind of show what's the average return of securities located in that location. All right, if the color is darker, that will indicate a greater average return for firms in that location. So how do we do that? So we can go to the format variable, and there's a bubble, and now we just expand the bubbles. Okay, and there's gonna, under the bubbles there's a colors. Okay, and the default is this blue color, which is what you can show, what you can see here. But I want to define the color based on a certain condition, where I want to use the average return as the condition to determine the color. So that's what we learned before, called conditional formatting. I'm going to use this FX button to define conditional formatting. So for my style, it's going to be the gradient. Okay, what field should we base this gradient on? So gradient, again, is basically just a change of color from the lighter one to a darker one. That's called a gradient. And I'm going to define a field, a data field that's going to determine the change of the color. So I'm basically going to choose from this drop-down list. I'm going to use the daily data set. I'm going to focus on the monthly return C. Okay, But instead of using the sum of the month's return, again, I'm going to use the average. So under summarization, I'm going to choose the average to aggregate the month's returns across stocks in the same location and across different months in the sample period. Okay. So also, how should we format empty values? I'm going to choose this one. Do not format if the cell is empty. If we do not have a return observation, then we just leave it alone without formatting it. So the minimum is going to be the lowest value, and according to the according to the default choice, this is a light blue for the minimum. Okay, for maximum, it's going to be the highest value of that average return, and by default, it's going to be the kind of darker blue. You can redefine those colors by just clicking on that and choose kind of different colors you wish. Okay. Also for the maximum, you can do that too. You can choose more colors and choose whatever color you feel comfortable. But for now, I'm going to just leave with the default choice. Okay. So I'm going to click OK. Now you see the color of the bubble also changed. Now a darker color represents a higher average return of the firms located in that location. Okay, and the lighter one, of course, corresponds to a lower average return.